Every time you launch 1C Enterprise, you're greeted by the list of Infobases, your gateway to the platform. But today, we're going to explore how to fully customize and configure this window to make your workflow much more efficient. You can open your global settings by clicking the Customize button right here. First, you can choose whether to display your databases as a flat list or organized into a tree structure. If you only manage 2 or 3 databases, a tree view might actually slow you down. But if you're dealing with dozens of them, grouping them into nested folders is an absolute lifesaver, and there's no limit to how many subgroups you can create. From this same window, you can sort your bases by name or specify how many recently opened databases you want the platform to track. The system duplicates links to your most active databases right at the top of the list. No scrolling through many databases every single day. Let's look at the directories of configuration templates and update section. By default, the platform creates a template directory tied to your local user account. But you can add shared network directories here too, so whenever you create a brand new database, the platform automatically scans these paths for available templates. If you need to lock a system to a specific platform release, say, release 365 instead of the absolute newest version, you can specify that in the used versions table. Right below that, you'll see checkboxes for Install New Version Automatically and Use Hardware License. Their names speak for themselves, so let's move on to individual database settings. You can configure a single database when you create it, or select it and click Change. Let's skip to the final page, the Startup Parameters. This is where you choose the authentication method, the connection speed, and additional startup options. You set the launch mode, thin or thick client, and you define the exact 1C Enterprise version this database should run on. Here, we set it to 8.3. And lastly, save your changes. Back to the authentication method, you have 2 options here. Option 1 is the standard login dialog box, where users manually type their username and password. Option 2 is operating system authentication. If this flag is set in the user's profile, the platform checks your Windows credentials and logs you in automatically. It has to be set up in the designer. Open Administration, then Users, and in the user's profile tick OS Authentication and map them to their Windows account. Next up is connection speed. If you're working over a low bandwidth network, selecting Low forces the platform to batch its server requests together to optimize performance. Additional startup parameters field, a text box where you can type command line keys. For example, typing /and administrator tells the system to automatically pick the administrator user at startup, bypassing manual selection. You can also pin the explicit version for this specific database, like 8.3 or 8.5. This is incredibly useful when you have several platform releases installed at once and want to safely test a database on a new version without affecting your stable workspace. So you can create 2 separate links to the same database, each running on a different platform version. Behind the scenes, this entire list is just stored in a plain text file within your user directory, which you can easily view or edit using any text editor. One critical note before we wrap up: clicking the Delete button in your Infobase list only removes the link from this menu. The actual database remains physically untouched on your hard drive. To completely wipe a file-based database, you must delete its physical folder, or drop it from the 1C server console if it's a client-server setup. That's how you master your Infobase list. Customize your views, leverage startup keys, and organize your environment to fit your workflow.